There are always those who ask, what is it all about? For those who need to ask, for those who need points sharply made, who need to know where it's at, this. The mass of men serve the state thus, not as men mainly, but as machines with their bodies. They are the standing army and the militia, jailers, constables, posse comitatus, etc. In most cases, there is no free exercise whatever of the judgment or of the moral sense, but they put themselves on a level with wood and earth and stones, and wooden men can perhaps be manufactured that will serve the purpose as well. Such command no more respect than men of straw or a lump of dirt. They have the same sort of worth only as horses and dogs. Yet such as these even are commonly esteemed good citizens. Others, as most legislators, politicians, lawyers, ministers, and office holders, serve the state chiefly with their heads. And, as they rarely make any moral distinctions, they are likely to serve the devil, without intending it as God. A very few, as heroes, patriots, martyrs, reformers in the great sense, and men, serve the state with their consciences also, and so necessarily resist it for the most part, and they are commonly treated as enemies by it. Henry David Thoreau, Civil Disobedience. That is the heart of it. Now begin in the middle, and later learn the beginning. The end will take care of itself. But because it was the very world it was, the very world they had allowed it to become, for months his activities did not come to the alarmed attentions of the ones who kept the machine functioning smoothly, the ones who poured the very best butter over the cams and mainsprings of the culture. Not until it had become obvious that somehow, some way, he had become a notoriety, a celebrity, perhaps even a hero, what officialdom inescapably tagged an emotionally disturbed segment of the populace, did they turn it over to the Ticktockman and his legal machinery. But by then, because it was the very world it was, and they had no way to predict he would happen, possibly a strain of disease long defunct, now suddenly reborn in a system where immunity had been forgotten, had lapsed. He had been allowed to become too real. Now he had form and substance. He had become a personality, something they had filtered out of the system many decades before. But there it was, and there he was, a very definitely imposing personality. In certain circles, middle-class circles, it was thought disgusting, vulgar ostentation, anarchistic, shameful. In others, there was only sniggering, those strata where thought is subjugated to form and ritual, niceties, proprieties. But down below, down below, where the people always needed their saints and sinners, their bread and circuses, their heroes and villains. He was considered a Bolivar, a Napoleon, a Robin Hood, a Dick Bong, ace of aces, a Jesus, a Jomo Canada. And at the top, where, like socially attuned shipwrecked Kellys, every tremor and vibration threatening to dislodge the wealthy, powerful, and titled from their flagpoles, he was considered a menace, a heretic, a rebel, a disgrace, a peril. He was known down the line to the very heart-meat core, but the important reactions were high above and far below, at the very top and at the very bottom. So his file was turned over, along with his time card and his cardio plate, to the office of the Ticktockman. The Ticktockman, very much over 6 feet tall, often silent, a soft purring man when things went time-wise. The Ticktockman. Even in the cubicles of the hierarchy, where fear was generated, seldom suffered, he was called the Ticktockman. But no one called him that to his mask. You don't call a man a hated name, not when that man, behind his mask, is capable of revoking the minutes, the hours, the days and nights, the years of your life. He was called a master timekeeper to his mask. It was safer that way. That is what he is, said the Ticktockman with genuine softness, but not who he is. This time card I'm holding in my left hand has a name on it. but it is the name of what he is, not who he is. The cardio plate here in my right hand is also named, but not whom named, merely what named. Before I can exercise proper revocation, I have to know who this what is. To his staff, all the ferrets, all the loggers, all the finks, all the comics, even the minies, he said, "Who is the Harlequin?" He was not purring smoothly. Time-wise, it was a jangle. However, it was the longest speech that they had ever heard him utter at one time. The staff, the ferrets, the loggers, the finks, the comics, but not the minies, who usually weren't around to know in any case. But even they scurried to find out. Who is the Harlequin?